do like a little intro. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. Today is Sunday. So you know what that means. We got another Sunday special here with everybody. Good to see you guys. We got Sean Parra on the other side. I'm going to switch him over right now. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat box. If you guys have any other questions you want to send in on Instagram, you guys can do that as well. It's up to you. Cool. So let's get this started. I'm going to switch right over. All right, Sean, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sick. All right, man. Cool. So we are live. Let me move this really quick. So we'll stop every once in a while if somebody has like a question or something. It's not super formal. Oh, forgot one thing.
Okay.
Let's see. There we go. Cool, man. So yeah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just been busy with, trying to make my way through coronavirus. And I'm not really,
Yeah.
I was working at, well, I shouldn't say was because I still am. I'm working at Guitar Center, but
Oh,
very,
nice.
very sparingly at the moment.
Really? Are they like, what do you do over there? Do like give lessons?
No, I do just like regular retail stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a difficult job. You wouldn't expect it to be, but it is because nobody really likes customer service,
Right. Yeah.
But it's cool. It's not bad. It's just when coronavirus hit, they had to do like everybody else does, and not lay
Right.
off, but put everybody kind of on furlough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Were you
I'm only
you
there.
working there before?
Yeah, I was. I was working there
Oh, nice.
in 2015 till now. So I've been there a long time. I've actually been there quite a while.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first moved out to San Jose, in addition to teaching, I also needed something else to do. So I hit up Guitar Center because I was like, it's still music, so I mean, I might as well try something out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm
dope.
looking into like other options still. So I'm kind of seeing now as like a good opportunity to divert into other things,
Yeah.
So yeah, you said you're moving around, right? How's that going?
Yeah. I'm just moving to the neighboring city.
Yeah. So it's not a big move.
It's
That's cool.
like a 20. Yeah, it's not super crazy.
Yeah. Are you in an apartment or house?
It's like a fourplex,
Oh,
and
okay.
so it's like one of the units in the fourplex.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Nice.
actually. I mean, unfortunately, my mom actually bought the fourplex, and she needs someone to like stay in one of them,
hmm
and she's like asked me if I could stay. I was like, of course.
Oh,
Like that
dude,
sounds
that's a sweet
awesome.
gig. Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So just going down the list of questions we got. So where did you grow up? Like where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah. So I grew up in like South Central around like Southgate. It's like a little city called Southgate. It's about like 15 minutes away from like Compton and like all these crazy like areas.
Oh, dang.
Um, but yeah, I grew up there, and 'cause like my mom was from there, my dad was from there, so yeah, that's where I grew up. Nothing too crazy. I think by the time I got to middle school, I was still living there, but I was going to school in Downey, which is like a little bit of a nicer
Yeah.
city. So I didn't get to like experience like the craziness of what like South Central was, which I'm like really fortunate. I'm
Yeah,
grateful for.
that's good.
But yeah, and then by the time I got to high school, that's when I moved to La Mirada, and that's where I went to high school. That was like another upgrade from Downey. So I think I just
Right.
like kept
Yeah.
taking. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. Yeah.
Nice, man. That's super cool. Um so that I mean that's good that you didn't have to like deal with any of the stuff that comes
Yeah,
with
man.
those
I like.
areas.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, like I saw some, not saw some crazy stuff, but like I knew that place wasn't like the best.
Right.
And I mean, I'm really grateful and lucky. Like I think my parents like like noticed that or like knew that obviously, and they just wanted to like give me something a little bit nicer than they had. So
Right.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, cuz it's
Hmm.
it's easy to get like sucked into that kind of environment. I almost kind of did in Fresno a little bit, like just because it wasn't a bad town. There are definitely parts of it that are bad, like really bad. but
Yeah.
it's easy to like get sucked into your environment and just kind of stay there or go with certain
Right.
people that
Yeah.
maybe it
Dude,
isn't a good idea to be with,
that's
you know?
it's yeah, it's funny that you bring up like because that's like NorCal, right?
Yeah.
Um, Man, I remember like the first time I was up there, I was like, this is like not. I don't want to say it wasn't California, but I was like, this doesn't seem like I'm in like the right place. You know, it just seemed like a little bit like, especially Concord. That dude,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
how it is. It's
Yeah.
a little, it's rough. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like you're in
So,
a good part and then you take a turn and it's like, wait, where am I at now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember like over by the hall. We used to go to like you know where the sorry, not the hall, but you know where the airport is by Mars? Like that
Yes.
little airport. We would go along like the outside of the airport and there's like a Wendy's that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one time in particular that we went and it was just like something had changed. Like for some reason that day, like all the sketchy people showed up. So we got there, we got our food, and we just like booked it out of there. We're like, this is
Yeah,
yeah.
bounce.
I don't know what happened, so we didn't go back to that. But that was pretty crazy. Yeah. What about college? You went to RCC, right?
Yeah, yeah. I went to RCC for a bit, and then yeah, like I went for about maybe like a couple semesters, but I feel like personally for me it was difficult to juggle school and my commitment towards like marching.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because like my parents like we always fought about it and I was like I want to march and they're like you got to
Yeah.
go to school and that was like this whole thing. I mean, I
Classic.
feel like a lot
Yeah.
classic. I feel like so many people go through that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think everyone should go like the path that they like, ultimately want to go down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until it was RCC 18 and Nick, it was like he kind of explained that he had like the same problem and he just decided like, after I age out, like I'm gonna go to school. And then that's what he did. He didn't march or he didn't go to school, he marched. And then, after he was done, he went back into school and he like
Right.
found like he's obviously like graduated and stuff
Yeah.
now. And I'm just like, wow, like I don't know, just like really I
Yeah.
didn't think that that would be an option.
Yeah. That's
So I
what
was
I'm
like kind of
doing.
like, right,
Yeah,
right.
because I mean, I also I had a lot of family stuff that kind of prevented me. I went to college a couple times, but it wasn't working. It felt like I was trying to fit like a square inside of a circle. It was just not working.
Yeah,
It just wasn't the right
yeah,
time. So I'm going now, and kind of again around like coronavirus stuff. Like now that everything's shut down, I took it as like a really good point to like pivot and start doing
right,
the college thing, which is also why I'm not working as much right now because I do want to put a lot of effort into that. So yeah,
right.
dude, I
Yeah,
think it's more normal than people expect, to like
right.
just chill on it a little bit. You don't have to do it right away.
That's the thing. Like I always tell myself like you're just not good at time management. And it's like I I shouldn't like beat myself up for like not being able to juggle both of them. Because in my opinion, it's like way better to like take one thing at a time and really make that really good, and then move on to the next thing. When it comes, like I feel like whenever you try, or at least in my experiences, whenever you try doing too many things at once, like none of them get the quality that they like need. So I think if anyone's watching and like you're in the same situation, like just explore other options that you may have available to you.
Yeah, that's funny. Daniel, the last one I did last week, he said like the same thing too. And
Really?
like it's weird because when I was growing up too, that wasn't something I heard regularly, which is like, oh
Mm,
dude, just look around. Like even though I had drum corps and I had music, there was still like that looming like, dude, you have to go to college. What are you doing? Like
yeah,
nothing else
yeah.
is more important than going to college, you know. But at the same time, the older I got and the more people that I knew that graduated college, I noticed that a lot of them weren't doing what they originally went out to college for, which is super
Really.
interesting. Yeah, even my brother-in-law, he got his degree in I think it I think it was jazz studies. I think it's jazz studies. But
Mm.
he's actually like more into photography right now too.
Oh
So I
wow.
mean, it's great that he still went to college for
Yeah.
that because he can still use it. But I mean, he ended up. I mean, he's not. doing as much as he says he would like to be doing with it. Um, who else? A couple of my other friends too. Like they, in addition to that, they also took like 8 years to finish because they switched their major a couple times too.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like another plus that it gives is there's a lot of growth that happens out of high school to age out. I feel like, I'm sure you could say the same thing, like that time right out of high school to like when you age out, it's like such a pivotal moment, or not a moment, but like years in your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now I'm in a way stronger position to like know exactly what I want to do,
Yeah, that's great.
or have the headspace to think about that stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think if it was not for marching or doing drum corps, I probably would not have moved out of Fresno. So I'd still be in Fresno where the options for work are, I mean, it's an agricultural community mostly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more, I don't want to say modernized because it's living in the 1800s, but it's definitely like farming town, like all the high schools out there have like ag, and they have little farms attached to the high school and stuff like that, but the opportunities just aren't nearly as open as they are out here. So I mean, I have no idea what I would be doing, so if I would have chosen to do something other than drum corps at the time, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Well, I'm like, I wonder how that happens. Like, what? I don't know. That's so interesting. I feel like because it's like I feel like the answer's not so obvious.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. So how was college for you? Like doing that at the time. Like what was, I'd say, the biggest challenge you had besides, I mean, you mentioned time management.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I would say probably the biggest challenge I had was that I wasn't putting, I don't know, I wasn't putting it as a high priority because I just
Okay.
like I want to drum all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing. Yes, it's time management, but like when you really don't want to do this one thing, you're not gonna give it the time it needs.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I really struggled with. Like I just wasn't a good student because I was just way more devoted to something else.
Right.
And like that's the thing too. Like um, I've noticed about myself. Like I will. Like I've read a lot of books. I not like a lot of books, but like I've surprised myself. I was like, wow, I'll read these books, but like I don't do schoolwork, so it's like I don't understand like what that is. It's like
Yeah.
it's not that I'm like a bad student because like I'll like put my head into books and like write notes about them, but I won't do that for like school stuff.
Yeah.
So I
The
think it's
same
just
way. Because
it's so interesting,
I
right?
don't want to have to. I don't want to have to read this book. I want to read this book. No, I'm exactly the
Yeah,
same way. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
totally get it.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the challenge. When I don't know, like don't I wouldn't want to call myself a bad student. I just don't think that thing is I was studying were the things I wanted to study. So
Right.
I just didn't put, time
Yeah, well, I
into
mean,
it.
like you said too, it just wasn't the right time, maybe.
And that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's I think that's pretty common. I mean, now that are you going back? Like, are you going?
I think I do for maybe because I think what I want to get into is like videography stuff
Yeah.
and just diving more into that. And I mean, I took a Photoshop class of it like while I was over there. It's just
Mhm.
like I learned so much from that class, and I didn't get a good grade, but I've used that skill so
It's
many
hard.
times,
It's so hard.
and
It's
tough,
way harder
tough.
than
But
people make it look.
right,
Yeah.
but like going to school,
No, just like using Photoshop and getting into videography
yeah,
and editing and all that
yeah,
stuff. Because I have like the whole Adobe Premiere Cloud
yeah,
crap. And dude, it's so hard. I opened it one day and I was trying to edit a video, and I couldn't do it. Like I don't know how to work
yeah.
the program.
It takes a while to like understand like okay, well this thing does this and this thing does this,
Yeah.
and then like even then like Sibelius, right? You know Sibelius
Yeah.
or like any music writing software.
Mhm.
There are so many things in just like any program that you just have no idea what it is or what they do, and it
Yeah.
takes a while to like start to understand like okay, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm still learning stuff about Sibelius. I definitely feel like comfortable, like I can go on and just breeze through everything.
Yeah,
But when I
yeah.
started, it was like, how do I? I just want to put a I just want to put a quarter note down. How do I do that? I don't know how to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so how about music? When did you first start getting into music?
I guess music in general. I know my mom signed me up for a couple of guitar classes.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, when I was like in elementary, I never like
You didn't buy into
cared
it.
too much about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I never cared too much about them. And then I didn't even I know like fifth grade there was like this music class and I didn't take that. And then in middle school, that's when I got into like band. That was like my
Mhm.
first, introduction to like concert percussion.
Did you choose to do that, or did your parents kind of like sign you up?
I think like my dad was he had actually marched in the Rose Parade, and like he was a saxophone player and he was like in high school marching band. So like
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he told me, he's like, okay, you're gonna sign for band. I was like, okay. And then like I was in it. I was in it, and the funny thing is, man, this is so I feel like so lucky, um, and so like fortunate that I like, cause what happened was, there was like a hat, and everyone was getting passed around the class, and then reached in there, and then or she picked out a name. It was the band. The band director, she pulled out a name, and she's whatever name it was, they would choose what instrument they played. So
That's an interesting way to do
they
it.
right, and spots started getting deleted or like started diminishing because
Right.
okay, all the spots for this has been taken. It's like, oh crap, like, and I wanted to do drums, and I was like, okay, and a lot of kids I already got called out for drums, and I was like, and I
Yeah,
like
that's like
counted, I
the
was like, I'm
hot
pretty
the
sure.
hot pick. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That is a hot pick. So all these spots were getting filled up, and I had counted. I was like, okay, I think there's like no more spots available, but I'm not sure. I was like, there. I think I was one away, and then my name got called up, and like I wasn't at the time, like I was in sixth grade. I wasn't like I wasn't one of those kids that was like ask questions. I would just like take what was given to me,
Right.
But in that moment, I was like, I don't know what came over me, but I had to ask. I was like, is there any more percussion spots? And she's like, yeah, there's one more. I was like, wow. And like
Ooh.
that's yeah, I know. I mean, I'm sure I would have done something else and like I don't know, maybe I would have like gone back to drums or maybe I wouldn't have done it at all. But I think that was
Go to flute.
extremely, yeah, definitely one of those moments
Yeah.
that
Dude, that was your first contract. That was
yeah,
like
that was
that's like
technically
your
my first
first
contract.
contract. That's hella funny. Would you put
Yeah.
did your middle school have like a parade band program or anything like that?
No, no. The first introduction to like marching was high school. And the crazy thing too was I did not like drums either. Like
Oh
I
wow.
I didn't yeah, I didn't like it either. Like I just didn't I don't know, I just didn't like it. I don't know. But when I got to high school, I told my dad again, like, I don't want to sign up for band. And he's like, Sean, you're gonna do 1 year marching band. And I was like, no. And he like specifically said marching band. I was like, why would I do that? He's like, trust me, just do it once, like
Yeah.
1 year. And I was like, all right. And then um like I got signed up for that. Another fortunate thing that happened to me, like I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But then like I feel like it was just like so many times where like the world is like, do this, like you're gonna want to do this,
Yeah.
and I was like, no,
It's
no,
like
no,
forcing you in a
because
direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
because another thing that happened was I missed the first day of like band camp, and I was like really like I was playing Call of Duty, and like I was with the homies like just playing, and then one of my friends that was in the marching band, he like got on, and I was like, yo, what's good? Like we're like on headsets talking whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you missed the first day of marching band or like band camp,
Oh
and
my god.
I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, they're like we're having band camp right now. I was like, oh crap. So I went in the next day, and then there was this thing for drumline, and I was like really nervous. Like I didn't want to go to drumline.
Right.
So I did front ensemble. I did the pit like my freshman year.
Oh really?
And yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just like I don't know, it just I was nervous. I was like, this is weird because like I feel like concert band middle school is way different than marching band.
Yeah,
Like you're with so
absolutely.
many more
Yeah.
people and like there's actual like I don't know. There's just so much more that goes
But
into
yeah,
it.
plus the older people, like the cap isn't seventh and eighth graders now. It's like
Yes.
freshmen and
Yes.
seniors. So
Yes.
the cool kids in the group,
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
that can
And
drive and do all the shenanigans.
yeah, and I definitely noticed that too. I was like, there are like older kids here. Like
Yeah,
it's weird, you know? So
yeah.
yeah.
We had. I remember my freshman year when I did marching band. Like I hung out with. I feel like the drummers are always kind of just like honorary. I don't want to say cool kids, but like almost
I was
like the
gonna say
seniors.
they're definitely like the cool people, you
Yeah,
know?
the
Like
ones that people
100%.
always just want to hang out with. So I mean, even if you're a freshman, people are still gonna want to hang out with you. So it's like, all right, well, you're in the
Yeah.
drum line, it's fine. But we used to, again, it was Fresno, so I mean, it was a little bit of a smaller town, and we would, we had a lot of like really cool activities that we would do that were based around like the community. Like one of them was, well, I forgot what we called it. It was like cops and robbers or something kind of like that. But the seniors that had cars would be one group, and then everybody else in the band that came. Sorry, we would meet at the high school, at the band room in the high school, and our goal was to make it from one high school to the next high school in the same city in Clovis,
Uh-huh.
without getting caught by the people that have cars. So each person that had a car had like one other person, and when they would find somebody, they would just have to tag them. If they tagged them, they were now on the cars team, right? So it was always at like 11 o'clock at night, so super dark, and the people that were runners had like a 10-minute head start, and you couldn't use a skateboard, you couldn't use anything like that. You just had to go on foot. So you would have to run all the way to these high schools that are like miles away without getting caught.
Jeez.
And dude, it was a huge group activity. It was so fun.
Yeah.
But we definitely like we would like cut through people's yards because like
Oh
oh crap,
dang.
he's coming. Oh no. So like we would run
Yeah,
through, like
yeah.
hop fences. But it was so
That's
cool.
awesome.
It was just it was like the seniors being kind of a bad influence. But it
Yeah.
was a really, really cool like group activity that we all did. So
Yeah,
I miss stuff like that.
that sounds like a very like something that bonds like people together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. It's especially like teaching now, I don't see tons of stuff like that. Like the staff has to almost come up with ideas sometimes for the kids.
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
we didn't really have phones. We had like the little pay as you go phones, you know, and they didn't
Yeah.
have apps or games on them. Facebook wasn't a thing. MySpace was coming out. But
Yeah.
it
I didn't think about that.
yeah, it was definitely weird like seeing now a bunch of students that like don't really take an interest in hanging out with each other. I mean, they do, but it's different.
It's
I
like
mean,
way more secluded now.
yeah, that's what it feels like to me. But I mean, it's I'm not gonna judge. Like
I know.
they're doing the same
I
thing,
wonder if it's
just in a
like,
different way.
yeah, and that's the thing. I wonder if it's like we can't see it because like we're not in it, you know?
Yeah,
I feel like they
yeah,
might be that too.
yeah. It's I mean, I to be fair, a lot of them do. You know, like Among Us, like they're all playing Among Us on their phones and doing all that. It's just they're not
Yeah.
outside doing something else. So I don't know. Probably just being an old person. Hold on one second. Get my questions. There we go. Cool. I think somebody wrote a question. Let me say. Ian, what made you so dummy thick? Oh my god, it's a dumb question.
Love that.
Um,
Love that.
somebody wants to know top 5 artists you currently listen to.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Okay. Well, okay. I love Jack Harlow. Dude, I don't know if you've ever listened to Jack Harlow.
A little bit.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Harlow is really good. Mac Miller, super good. Um, I'm currently listening to. I've been getting back into Kendrick Lamar. He's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Kendrick's freaking beast. Wait, I'm gonna check my Spotify real quick.
Yeah, it's hard
Just
to remember.
see what
Like I'm trying to think of 5 right now.
I know,
too.
right? Oh, dude, Frank Ocean, bro,
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Always good.
Oh, and Brockhampton. I don't know. Have you ever heard about them?
Brockhampton? No.
Yeah, dude, listen to them. They're really good.
Okay.
Very, very good.
I'm gonna put
Yeah,
it into my Spotify.
Brockhampton is really good.
Who
Um,
else?
and Jabali. That's what
Dude,
I have right now.
Jabali is he's really good. Like I
Yeah.
was I don't want to sound rude, but I was super surprised because I remember when I saw it, I was like, all right, I bet it's cool. But then I heard, I was like, dude, this is sick. This is hella good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was
I
super
know.
pleasantly surprised by
He's
that.
so good.
Yeah, I listened to that
Yeah,
quite
yeah,
a bit actually. Um,
yeah.
Ashley Fanning says hi, Sean. Not a question, but hi, Sean.
Hi.
Let's see. For me, I've been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack a lot. Have you seen Hamilton yet?
Really? Okay.
Dude.
Okay. Let's talk about this for a second
All right.
because I'm not like a huge like musical person
I'm not
or like
either.
but you like it though.
Yeah, it took me a minute. Like,
Really?
yeah, because like you said, I'm not a huge musical fan. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but let's see, like La La Land, I love that movie. The Greatest Showman, I love that movie.
Dude, The
Dude,
Greatest Showman, that like first song,
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that song.
yeah,
I don't mess with musicals, but like I watched that movie and I heard that song. It's like, yo, there's something about that
yeah.
just like speaks to
It
me, you know,
doesn't.
like so
I
good.
think, and then Hamilton. I think what it is, like, it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like a musical to me, like a stock
Mm,
musical, like Les Mis. I didn't. That one was, it was good. I appreciated it, but it's not something that I would like actively listen to a lot. Like
mm.
Hamilton, I listened to that one. I think because it's more not mainstream, but it's more like modern. It's more like
Right, yeah, yeah.
easy to listen to, you know? It's not like I can't stand the whole like saying your lines in like a melody. Like I just don't like that. It's awkward to me.
Uh,
You know what I
that's
mean?
weird.
Where they're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
talking, but it's in a melody. I don't know that.
yeah, that's
Oh,
weird.
but it didn't feel like that whenever I watched those. So yeah. Anyway, Hamilton. I've been watching that and listening to it a lot. Um, plus, I just watching that, I noticed a lot of similarities between like drum corps and WGI design
That's
with what they did with the
so
choreography in that
uh,
show. Because it was very
wow.
different. You know,
Mm,
like watching them, like you know how Blue Devils a lot they do like inferring body movement almost. You know what I mean? Like they'll make shapes that infer an idea, and they
mm.
do that a lot in Hamilton. Like there's no real props; they just have like chairs and tables, and they have to act out what they're doing with their bodies in a different way. That might
Yeah.
be more common in all musical theater. I don't know. I don't watch a ton of musical theater,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure it is. That's sick though. That's so sick.
yeah, that's one I've been listening to a lot. What else? Breaking Benjamin. I mean, just stock like middle school rock. I've been I've been listening to them since I was in like middle school. Um, I can't think of anything else. That's like all I can think about right now.
Yeah.
Jabali, I have been listening to him off and on.
That's great. Yeah, that's cool. I'll take a listen to the Hamilton soundtrack.
Yeah, it's pretty good. My brother-in-law, he mentioned before I saw the actual musical, he was like, you should listen to it first before you watch it, just so you're familiar with it a little bit, and then
Mm,
watch what they're doing to the music. So I did that,
mm.
and actually, it made sense to me.
Nice.
Yeah. Another one. Let's see. What instructors? Ooh, that's a good one. What instructors played a big role in your transition from open class to world class groups?
Open class to world class. Um. Well, I guess from open class to world class, I took lessons with because I marched salon indoor percussion, and then the snare tech there, his name was Joe Hernandez. He marched troopers, and dude, man, that guy is so smart, and
Yeah.
he's a music major at Fullerton, and he's like really legit, and we took lessons a lot, and he helped me just like I think he started helping me think more about what I was doing, like be more conscious about what I was doing. Um, I'm trying to think about. Oh, okay. And then when I did RCC fall, and then I think that really helped. Like I think he helped me get into RCC fall, and then from RCC Fall, like Regua and Jared Andrews and Adam Wilson,
Yeah.
like definitely helped a lot.
Did Adam Wilson taught you too?
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. He taught at RCC Fall for a little bit. That's
Yeah,
right. Is he
yeah.
still there?
I'm
Or
not sure.
how's that working right now?
I don't know. I think they're doing. I think they might be doing half and half in like
Hmm.
very soon, but I'm not too sure.
Right. That's cool. Reg was
Yeah.
still at Fall, right?
Greg was still there. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's super cool. I wish that was definitely one guy like I wish I would have been taught by. He was
Regwa is
so smart.
yeah. Reg was awesome, man. It was funny. Like he told me he pulled me to the side after RCC fall auditions after like he had set the line, and that was I remember that was probably one of the biggest achievements like for me because well the whole reason I got into like drum corps like that sparked the whole interest was because this guy at my high school you marched with him, Greg Vasquez.
Oh yeah.
um he was a senior when I was a freshman, and
Oh, that's awesome.
he like yeah, he was the guy, and he just like showed me like yeah, this all this stuff. I was like, holy crap, this is awesome. And just like getting to drum with him, and then when he showed me like RCC, and I like heard about Blue Devils through just like the band, but he showed me RCC and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then he decided to do the fall, and then he made Blue Devils and RCC, and I was like, this is crazy.
You saw
Like it's just
the
crazy that I know
change.
someone. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And I was like, I just like, I think him doing it like showed me like, wow, that is actually I could do that because like he did it and like we went to that same high school, and so making RCC fall was probably one of the biggest achievements because I feel like wow, I actually have my foot in the door. I'm actually gonna be taught by these people,
Yeah.
and then it's crazy because Regwa pulled me aside and then he asked me like if I was auditioning for the winner. I was like, this is so weird. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. Like, he just asked me like straight up. He's like, "Are you auditioning? Because I
Yeah.
think you can like I think you tried really hard. You can make it." And then like I ended up getting cut, but like it was just so surreal that like
But he
he
approached you.
like yeah, like he pulled me aside and
That's
like told me
that's
like,
awesome. That's
yeah, yeah,
definitely a good sign. I still would have taken that as like, dude, really? Like that's all
yeah,
right.
yeah, it
Hell
was
yeah,
shocking,
dude.
shocking.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what in general like sparked your interest in drum corps and WGI, or like what came first? Because I mean, I'm sure. Did your high school have a winter program?
No, my high school did not have a winter
Oh
program.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole thing. But I think drum corps came first because the dude, another thing, like you marched 12,
Hmm.
right? And that was the first drum corps show I ever listened to.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and I remember just being like, wow, this
Yeah.
is and like how you said, watch it before you like or
Yeah.
listen to it before you watch it. I did the same thing. I listened to it and then I watched it. But I listened to it so many times, and as a freshman, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I remember like just playing it on repeat and like trying to drum like I just didn't know that there was
You
like a whole
figured it
like
out like in your head.
but I was like, there's sheet music, like there's
Yeah.
all this stuff. I just didn't have any idea of that. I was just like
Right.
listening, to, like drumming, like what I thought I heard, and like the fast roll segment. I was just like playing, like this like dumb little kid.
Yeah. But
But
that's
yeah,
awesome
that
because
was
that built a skill, like being able to do that. I did the same thing when I was younger, even
yeah.
though we
But
had
I
like
mean,
snare signs and stuff,
really,
Yeah,
really,
like
yeah.
just
I,
listening
I
to
didn't
it.
have a, I didn't have an idea of like what I was doing or anything like that. But that was like the first thing, just like being so geeking out on Blue Devils. That
Right.
was like came first.
So what about Blue Devils was it that made you like drew you into them? Because there's so many options. Like,
Yeah.
was it? Because for some people it's just like, oh well, they're really good. But for other people it's like, dude, it's got to be this drum corps. Like, I don't care if
Yeah,
we
yeah.
win, it's got to be this one.
It's funny. I think it went from like Blue Devils, and then I think I wanted to like do Vanguard for a second, and then
Hmm.
I went back to Blue Devils. Um, but it was Blue Devils at first because I think that show was just so much better than like any other show I had ever like even like okay, listen to that one and then listen to other ones. And like yes, the other ones are great, but like there was like Cabaret Voltaire was like so just I don't know, so abstract and like
Yeah.
I just loved it so much. And then I don't know, something about that like really just like grabbed me. and I knew that it was different than like anything else I would ever
Right.
check out. Um, and then I think watching like Greg make like Blue Devils
Mhm.
and like him like I think his whole goal was to make Blue Devils, right? So like he was always like kind of like not always talking about it, but I knew that that was like his thing, and
Yeah, I remember
since
he
he
was
inspired me
he
so
was
much,
super stoked to make it. Like he was
yeah,
really, really stoked to make it.
yeah, yeah. I bet he was. I remember like I remember just like him coming back to the high school after making it, and I was like, dude, you're like a god, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, yeah. That, and then like I guess the time where I was like, I think the more I started to learn about it, um, the more like I got drawn towards um the swag that they had. I know that sounds like a weird word to use, but there's something that's just so much different about watching a Blue Devils drumline versus watching like any other drumline. Because it was the first lot I had ever seen Blue Devils was 2015,
Mm.
and it was that RCC lot, and I'll never forget just like them. Oh, them like sorry, someone just like
It's
walked
all
in.
good.
Um, them just like playing like that first snare break and just being like I don't know, just like so I didn't even know
Yeah,
what they were
they
playing,
were
but I was
really
just like,
good that year.
holy crap, that's
Like
yeah.
beginning of the season too.
And
I remember seeing it. I was like,
yeah, early
dude,
season they were
oh my
killing
god.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So that was it. And just like watching them because I know that there was like another part where I just saw them like smiling as they were like drumming. It was so weird. Like they were just like they knew that they were
Good
like
evening,
playing
everyone.
so well, you know? I was just like, what the heck? Like I just thought that was so I don't know, something I hadn't like seen before. Like you guys like know that you guys are killing it, but it's
yeah,
not too serious. Like I don't know,
yeah.
it's weird.
I think that's a good way to put it too. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It was weird. Like I always imagined. Well, plus I heard stories of like old school Blue Devils because I had people like Eric
Hmm.
Melson, John Burroughs, people like that taught me that marched in like the '90s when it was like way more intense. And
Yeah.
I expected coming in, and it was just gonna be like, dude, get your shit, like, let's
Yeah.
go, you know. But it,
Yeah.
so I was actually a little intimidated, like I was a little scared, but I, it was chill, like it was, like you said, it was like not. They knew they were gonna be good, so I mean, there was like stressful moments, but it was, you
Yeah, I
know,
was gonna say like there are stressful moments
yeah,
and yeah, I mean you know, like I'm sure you've had your like walls and stuff
yeah,
before.
absolutely,
But I don't know, just like I think I don't know, something about I feel like that year was just like so locked in from the start
yeah,
because I was fortunate like to see a drum line that had it locked in from the start, you
yeah,
know, like they were just like so tight in that they clicked really early. So I think getting to witness like what maybe like closer to finals would have been like it just like hit me different, you know.
right.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
That's really cool. How did you? So, what did you do to prepare for like each of the types of auditions you had? So, like, I mean, you had. I don't know if you auditioned like during high school, or for like concert band or anything, or if that's a big thing.
Yeah,
But especially, like WGI and DCI.
yeah. So I guess preparing, I was I think preparing it's like obviously like learn the packet. I think like everything that you think is obvious like you should definitely do, right? Like um learn the packet, like know when the day is, like all this stuff, you know, like know where you're going. Everything that you should already have in your conscious mind, like yeah, I should probably do that. I should probably do that. I think it's like the types of ways like I prepared were like different. Like I think I would like write down like I would write down stuff like I don't know, try just be confident or I don't know, I would just like try like putting myself in like the audition headspace. I think like it comes with experience too
Yeah.
because my first audition was just like super bad. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously like got cut. I got cut so many times so it's like you have to put yourself I think you'll know how to prepare better once you like put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Um or yeah. So like I don't know. That's a tough question. I feel like every audition just like a step up, like
Yeah.
knowing, be more aware of like
Right.
what's gonna happen or what's. Mhm.
Yeah, no,
So I don't know.
that totally makes sense. I
It's
think,
an interesting.
um, I mean, there are obviously exceptions, but I think most people that try out the first time are probably going to get cut. That's not a bad thing. It just means like
Yeah,
you're still learning. You gotta learn how to audition too. It's not as simple as like, hey, just come in and
yeah,
play
that's
this,
so.
dude. Especially Blue Devils and RCC,
Mm,
like they do a lot to put you through the rings. You know what I mean? Or through the ringer
yeah,
to see if you can actually hang
yeah,
mentally, not just.
yeah. Those auditions, I will say, man, those auditions were like the most stressful auditions I've ever had before.
Yeah.
I think, um, yeah, and Jacob Little said this, and I was like, hmm. And then like when I actually got, because he said like, yeah, I think Bluto's is like high pressure, but RCC is a harder audition in like some ways. And I was like, huh. But then like when I got there, I was like, wow, this is like so true. I feel like there's so much pressure on you like at Bluto's, and then like I feel like they throw a little bit less at you at Bluto's, but it's like super high pressure, and then they throw so much at you at RCC, and it's like really difficult, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what I heard.
Um,
I never got to audition
yeah.
for RCC. It's too far for me. But yeah, that's definitely what I've heard.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I think what you just said, learn how to audition. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more. It goes like further. It's like learn how to fail. Like be okay with
Ooh,
that. Yeah,
that's really good.
yeah.
That's a
But I
really
mean,
good
like
point.
if you get cut, like I don't know. Like people like are always nervous. Like I'm gonna get cut. Like I'm so upset at myself because I auditioned for a Pacific Crest in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a Blue Devils thing that was happening, and I was like, I didn't even like learn the packet for Blue Devils. I didn't know like the packet or anything like that at that time even, and I was just upset because I could have gone to the Blue Devils portion of it and like done the individual with Nick, and like I was nervous because I was just like, oh, I don't want to get cut. But like looking
Mm.
back on it, I wish I would have like done that. You know, like I feel like I missed out on such an opportunity to grow. So like any opportunity you see that's like, hey, you might get cut here, like you should definitely like take that chance.
Wow,
You know?
that's a really good point.
But,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's a really good point. I think that's now that you mention it, like that's a really good thing to think about. Like a lot of people that they just miss the opportunity. Not even just to make it, but just to grow, like you said. Like
yeah.
missing a chance to grow. That's really cool. Let me see. I have another question. Somebody asked a really good question. I'm gonna save that one for a little bit. I'll save that one for a minute.
Sure, sure. Special one.
So how about like when you finally made it, like getting your contracts? How's that?
That man, I'll never forget. Because I think in my head, I guess like I put RCC um not like higher than Blue Devils, but that was like the first thing I wanted to do. I guess the first thing I thought was possible, and that's the first line I made. RCC was the first like well obviously like the not the big line I made because I made Dark Side and I was able to make all these like really good groups. But RCC meant way more to me personally. So making RCC was like I don't know that I feel like that I don't know how it's described. I like almost started crying because it was like such a thing. I was like
Right.
so
You worked for it
like I was
forever.
getting yes, dude. I was and I felt like I was ready too. Like I felt like I had gone through the ringer once again, and I was like I know like I did pretty good, and like this is everything I want to do. And it's crazy how they do it. They like round everyone up, and they read off the names, and I was the last person to get called for the snare line, and I just like as soon as my name was called,
Ooh.
I just like my head just like I know
That's
it was so nerve wracking because it was just
ooh.
like name.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's
Damn it.
my name? Like
Damn it.
like
Damn it.
yeah,
Damn it. Damn
yeah,
it. yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like when yeah, it's stressful, dude. Then like
Yeah.
when they call my name, it's like all I did was just like drop my head into my lap, and I was just like, I just knew that I was like,
Yeah.
okay, at least the hard work just got started because like the whole season, that was like I need to like you know get really good really fast. But I think that was like a small break for the weekend because it was like
Yeah,
finally
you
like
can relax
I
a little
felt
bit. Yeah,
yeah, that was man. And then Blue Devils was like the same way. It was like so nerve wracking. And then um when they called my name, I was just like so grateful. I just felt like so grateful for like all the for everything that had happened for me to get to that point.
yeah,
Uh, so I was just I feel like I was just overwhelmed with being grateful for my experiences and stuff like that.
that's really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think most people that get to that point have a really good reaction to it. That's super similar, with the exception
Yeah.
again of people that like, oh man, it always
Go ahead, go
frustrates me
ahead.
so much when there's people that like, dude, I didn't even know what drum corps was. I just came and auditioned for like
Yeah.
we had what was his name? I think his name was Garrett, our drum set player in 13. He
Uh,
wasn't really a drum corps guy. He didn't really know what it was, but he came and he auditioned and he just destroyed. He was super
really.
good. Yeah, but I mean, there's other people too that audition like their first time and they make it. Like, oh yeah, I just felt like coming out. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
are you kidding
Those
me?
people are just like
I've been doing
natural.
this.
I
So,
feel like I feel like there's naturally talented people,
yeah,
and then there's like people that have to like work, and I feel like
yeah,
I fell into like have to work.
me
You
too.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I just like so many years of just grinding, and then somebody else that's just like, oh, I just felt like coming in, doing it, doing the thing,
and
dude.
they're like so good, and you're like I
Yeah,
can't. I hate this, but like I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
all fine. So what? Somebody already kind of asked this, um, but what or who influenced you the most in WGI, DCI and WGI? Like, we're maybe you can it can be instructors too, but who had like the biggest impact on you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess huge impact. I can't even like go this whole conversation without bringing him up. Like George Collins,
Hmm.
he um he really helped out. Drumming with him from summer 17. It was like him, Ricky and I always just meet him every week to drum, and his whole goal was to get us like in RCC. And man, he really I feel like he was um I don't know the first one of the first people that like started getting me from like where I was to like getting me to a place where I can make RCC and a place where I can make Blue Devils. So I him for sure, George Collins, Matthew Regwa, um, Nick Arcee, dude. Nick Arcee is
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
You know Nick like
Yeah,
so he's ahead, man. He's ahead of the
genius.
curve for
Yeah,
sure. Genius, yeah, and like such a great person, man.
he really is. Yeah,
I like um, it's so like not only is he just a great drummer, like an advanced drummer, but the way he like can communicate the mind, like hey, let's think about it like this
yeah,
or whatnot, or just even just talking to him, like, hey Nick, I'm struggling with this. Like, there's been a handful of times where like I've had to like go to Nick and just like talk to him, and then he'll just share like, hey, like and just such a down to earth person. I would say like Nick is
yeah. Same.
really appreciating Nick.
I don't.
And what's up?
I don't think I've ever seen him like get mad.
Oh
Like
no,
he's not
no.
somebody that reacts like if we're having a bad day, he doesn't react aggressive. There are
Mhm.
times, like Jared, not in a bad way, but like he
Yeah,
would we would need that
yeah, yeah,
like a little bit of a slap in the face, like, all right, we're
yeah,
being BS right now, like we need that. But I don't think
yeah,
Nick ever he could get the same result without doing that, and it was so weird because it was like, wow,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
Nick, thanks, dude.
Super, just like cool, super cool and calm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Nick was awesome, and Sean Clark. I feel like every instructor I've had like that level has been so impactful. Like Sean was like I remember I was having a tough time last year, and like we all we had to do was just like talk, and he was just like, "Yo, like you're good," like I don't know, just like something
Yeah.
about his humanity towards
Mhm.
like
Right.
you're tripping about this. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about like just being human and connecting versus like yo like let's like get this thing down.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there comes a time where it's like when you're human and you can communicate like, hey, I understand. It's just like
Right.
it changes so much.
Yeah.
And obviously Scott's
Yeah.
man, Scott's
Yeah.
Scott's a legend, dude. You,
He
you
is.
already
He's
know.
still
And oh
going.
man, every instructor, dude. Every instructor is
Yeah.
awesome.
He has that effect where it's like one of my favorite Scott stories is in 2012. Because okay, I got to start it with this. So again, going back to like the 90s, my techs at that time that had marched Blue Devils were like, dude, Scott has the eyes. Like he can clean you
Scott
just
has
by
the eyes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's totally true. Like they were just like, dude, if you're dirting something out, he'll just look at you, and you're good. And I was like, all right, well, I get the symbolism. I know what you're saying, but I don't know about that. He has to say something, right? And I swear to God, in 2012, there was a day. It was like towards the end of the season, and we were playing the ballad, and the whole line was just kind of. It was just one of those days where everybody was just kind of breaking, and it was just not a good day. And slowly, we all started to figure it out, but I could not figure it out. I kept like every single rep. I was like, "What is going on in my brain right now? I can't figure this out." So he just came up to me, and he just like looked at me, and then and then I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" He's like, "You need to grow up right now." And I was like, "Okay."
Really?
So I turned around, I walked back, and I didn't break again. That was it. I was like, he just
Dang.
figured my brain out for me. I don't know what the hell just happened. I was never more terrified, but more impressed by like he said he didn't give me a comment. He just like he fixed my brain for me. He just gave me like the little slap that I needed. So, and that was to
Yeah.
me that was like, dude, how do you have that ability to do that? I don't know how you just did this. But he just came up so
Yeah.
confidently. That's all he did. That's all I had
Yeah.
to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Scott has. It's funny you mentioned like I feel like his like his beam is like so strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny too. Like there'd be times where like I love it when he's just like standing there and then like he'll hear something and just like turn his head like slightly and he's like questioning like why is that happening and it's like you already know. But
Yeah.
yeah, Scott's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny. Someone said like he could just do his job by just standing in front of a line,
Yeah.
because it's like no
And
one wants
that's
to play like bad in front of Scott.
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But like I think another thing that I was always really, really, really impressed with about Scott was how much he appreciated his staff. Like
Mm,
because I mean, I'm not gonna compare like high school caption heads or even some WGI caption heads to Scott because I mean the guy's been doing this since the 70s, you know.
mhm.
But somebody like him has every right to be like, I'm Scott.
Yeah,
This is my line, you know.
yeah,
But he like one of it like he says all the time like every year these are the people that make me look good, you know. Like he allows his group to function as a group, not just like okay, well I'm here and I'm still gonna do this and you have to listen to me. It never felt like that. It was always from the outside. Like obviously I'm not on staff, but it looked like it was just an abundance of trust in his staff and
mm,
even the students and the
yeah,
members. You know what I mean? And that was one thing that I always
yeah,
appreciated. Like they never looked like they were because I've been in situations too where it was like, okay, these two are fighting for kind of power. Like they're trying to fight their
mm,
words, like whose word is more effective, you know? Where you get in that
yeah,
tangent of like one tech will say something and then the next tech will be like, oh, well, just to piggyback off of that. And then the
yeah,
other tech again will be like, well, you know, actually
huh,
to piggyback off of that. It's like, okay,
yeah,
guys, we get it. But it
yeah,
was it was never like that. Like Scott he was so humble with what he did. But at the same time, like you mentioned the Blue Devils kind of swagger. he
Yeah.
embodies that Blue Devil swagger to me.
He
You know?
embodies Blue Devil's drumline. Like
Yeah.
he is Blue Devil's drumline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
never gonna stop because of him. Like
Yeah.
what he
Dude,
started there, dude.
Scott is it. I remember in 2018 when he didn't drum too much, like at auditions,
Yeah.
and he'll drum every now and then. Um, but then like he did a Tommy Igoe thing,
Hmm.
and that was the first time I saw him like drum like live,
Yeah.
and I remember just being like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
Scott has like serious child, like obviously like that sounds silly for me to say, like obviously he does, but just like witnessing it again, like
Yeah.
live, just like that is, it blew my mind. And
Yeah.
his sound is so punctures,
Yeah.
like he's so good at it.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
So what is any advice that you might have for anybody that's going on to DCI, WGI that might be like on the fence about marching? Because there's people that, for one reason or another, that a big one now is like financials, because it's way too
Yeah.
much.
It's very
Well,
expensive.
I wouldn't say too much because that infers that it's not worth it, but it's a lot. It's a lot to do, and there's a lot of people that that are going to college, and they already have to pay like even if they're in community college, like $800 minimum a semester.
Yeah.
Plus in some cores like $5,000-6,000 a season, and they get to march 5 seasons. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess to start, I would say if you're on the fence about it and you want to like just dip your toes in it, I would say like one of the best things you could do is just try out a season at least, right? I think if you don't, I think it's so much different from an outside perspective, not doing it at all, and then doing at least one season of it, because what happens is, and I think this is like huge, is not only are you like in an activity that's like pushing you as a person, now you're surrounded with like similar people in your age group, and I feel like more than anything, friends have really tied this whole thing strongly together. Um, so I would say try out a season and see what happens, and then if you like it, then you're gonna have to like start figuring out, okay, like, okay, if I want to keep doing this, if I want to sustain this, then there's gonna have to be like, I mean, financial stuff that goes into it. But if you're on the fence about it and you haven't done it at all, like try one season of it, and see what happens. Because I think all it takes is one season, one experience. Like even if, say, like the season is bad, right? But you go and watch Blue Devils live, or you go and watch another core live, that might be the trigger that like once
Yeah.
that makes you want to keep doing
That
it.
was a huge one.
So
Like
yeah.
doing Mandarins in 2010. That was my first year actually on like a world class tour, and I had never.
Huh?
I mean, obviously, like I really wanted to do the Blue Devils, but I had never experienced other drum corps. So actually, at that time, like after seeing some live, I was like, dude, I had never considered this option for other drum corps, and there was actually a point where I was like, maybe, if I don't do Blue Devils or B Corps or wherever I'm gonna go next, like maybe I'll try out for like Crown. Crown was like probably my favorite other corps. If I could march anywhere other than Blue Devils, it probably would have been Crown. And I had never seen him,
Nice.
even on videos, but seeing them live like opened up more options. So that's a really good point too.
Yeah.
Like seeing what other options are out there.
Yeah. And I guess another thing with like financial is to, man, like communicate. That's a big one. That's one that I still have to remind myself, because I think what people worry about is like they don't want to communicate their struggle with having to pay it off, right? And they'll just bear the burden, on themselves. I did a lot. I would just be like, no one would know, like no one had any clue, like
Yeah.
I'm struggling, and like you have to have the humility and just like to like extend your arm and like help me.
Right.
And that could be with communication. Like even if like someone isn't you don't have to get a donation from anyone. It's just like you have to just at least um vocalize it, and that's the thing. Like once you vocalize it, the world will like help you. I think that's a big one. And along with that is to express every option you have. So like you might feel like you're in a bubble, but like say you start communicating, then you're like, okay, well now this person knows, and that person's actually giving me an opportunity to do this thing. Connections start being made, and doors start being shown to you that you might not have seen before.
Hmm.
So no one will know your problem if you don't vocalize it. Like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, like that's true.
Hmm.
Like definitely let people know
Right.
what's going on. Like obviously don't let people know and then just like kick back. Like
Yeah.
let
Right.
people know, let them know that you're like you're working towards this thing.
Right.
So
That's really cool. That's super. That's a really good perspective on that. How much,
yeah.
if you don't mind me asking, like how much was the tour fee in 19? Because in 14
Uh,
it was, I think it was 24.50.
in what year?
In 14, I think it was 24.50. And I don't
Yeah,
actually
that's
don't know what they were compared to now.
it's raised another grand around. It's like
Dang.
3,000 to 3,500 ish, I think, around there.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
not
I
not
mean,
and like what's up?
I was gonna say Boston. I know Boston is over 5.
Yeah,
I can't
Boston.
believe it.
I
That's
don't even.
that's mind
That's
blowing to me.
yeah. I'll say too. Like I got I feel like I feel like I'm really very grateful for like things that happened to me. But like I was really grateful for last year that uh um an alumni from I think like 90. Crap, I don't want to screw this up. I don't know. It was somewhere in the 90s,
Hmm.
right? And he's a snare drummer. He reached out to Ludos and wanted to like pay someone's fees off, and they chose me for it. So
Oh
like I
wow,
was grateful. Yeah, that was
that's
that was
awesome.
great. That was yeah, that was
That's
so
super
grateful for
cool.
that. Yeah, and dude, that guy's dope. He's actually from UK,
Right.
snare drummer.
Oh whoa,
So yeah, he marched Blue Devils back in the day, and he was the only guy from the or no, he was like the second guy from the UK that was marching Blue Devils at the time.
that's super
But
cool.
yeah. So options like that, like sometimes just pop out of nowhere,
Hmm.
you know.
Right. That's awesome, man. I'm gonna check the
Mhm.
questions really quick. So we got Regwa is the goat.
Regular's the
The goat. Boo Sean. That's funny.
blue.
Yes. I know there's one. I'll find it. Oh, that's right. Um, what has Blue Devils given you in the perspective of like real world experience? Like what? How has it
Hmm.
changed your perspective on like the real world? And this is for both of us, so
That's
I gotta think about
a
it
really
too.
good question, and
Um,
I gotta think about this one too. Hmm.
that one, yeah, that is kind of difficult. Um,
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely more than one for sure,
yeah, yeah.
for sure. But
There's good
man,
and bad for sure to that.
really.
Yeah, I mean I noticed. Um, I think starting with the bad because that's probably the most intriguing one, I guess. Um, and basis that let me know if this is kind of answering your question in the right way that you asked it. Because for some reason it got deleted, but I remember you asking this question. Um, obviously, like the whole racism and things like that that's going on nowadays. You you travel to these different parts of the country that are kind of backwoodsy, um, maybe less with Blue Devils because they can stay at the more expensive high schools or they can stay at the better facilities and things like that. But especially staying with like a lower tier world or open class core, I mean, you just see people for who they are when you go to certain parts of the country, and there are definitely some spots where it was like, wow, I'm not welcome here. Like I feel very, like feel odd being here, and not necessarily even me just as like a white person, but me as like an outsider. Like they can tell that I'm not from this community just by the way that I dress and just by the way that I carry myself. Like I don't vibe with the community, and they don't want me here. I can tell by the way they look. I can tell by the way they act. Like going to those little communities in like the Midwest. But there are some also that are like super cool. Like we stayed at one. I don't even remember the town. I don't. There was nothing around, dude. There was no like Safeway type stores. There was, I swear to God, a general store. There was like a dentist's office. All the roads were, there were no stoplights. It was all stop signs. And the town had like a little bar, like a little saloon. It wasn't like a saloon, but it had kind of like a saloon vibe. And the town was like, there couldn't have been more than like 500-600 people in this town. And literally like most of the town came out to watch us practice. And they threw us all like a big ice cream little thing, which is really cool, so there are the good parts like that, but there are also the other bad parts where it's the same type of town, but they aren't really okay with, certain types of people, like the gay community. I don't know if you heard about the thing that was going on, like the popular hangout, I think it's Basie's, behind Lucas Oil, like that bar. I don't know if it's true, but there was a thing that they sent out, because like every year, everybody, the after retreat hang is at Basie's, and they made some really bad comments about like the gay community, and that's DCI, like that's like what, maybe 50% of the membership of DCI is part of the LGBT community. So there's just parts of the country where you get to kind of see it for what it is. And it's like, okay, well, that's a bummer. Once you leave like California and the more like liberal areas, but you start to actually see the things that are like on TV, and you kind of experience it. Luckily, like we didn't experience any violence, but I mean, you see the people that like they glance and they aren't okay with it, So it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah, that's so interesting. It's so true that you bring that, because like I feel like it doesn't seem real. Like none of that stuff happens. But then when you go over there, it's like, oh crap, wow, this stuff actually does happen. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure you experience this too. Like once Blue's leaves California, it's like I felt like most people were like, I don't like Blue's. And I felt that for sure. It was a weird vibe. I was like, everyone loved this in California. Like, why are y'all hating us now?
Yeah. The standing ovations just kind of go away.
Yeah. No claps, or like hardly any claps, and like the other course are like, so
yeah, no, I totally get it.
But yeah, that's so true. That stuff really does exist, which is unfortunate, but I mean,
but the good though, I mean, the good I think heavily outweighs the bad. I mean, because it wasn't like it was always negative. I mean, I have way more positive stories of the real world than I do the negative ones. Like in almost the polar opposite of what I was saying, like going to certain places where you would think that it's like really sketchy. Like one of the places I was probably sketched out by the most was like Atlanta. Because there's definitely some sketchy parts. But like I remember walking around like after we were done, especially in 2010, like we go on like 9 a.m. and it's not done till like 10 at night, so you have all day to do whatever you want basically, which is awesome. So we go to like downtown Atlanta, and I was a little nervous, because I was still young, I didn't know, and I was I had heard stories, and just looking around, it's a little intimidating, but it was fine. Like people were super friendly, and I learned that I was like, it was in my head, like I didn't need to freak out about anything, So thinking about like the real world, I don't think all the time that the things that we see on TV are also always true. Like it's not always as
Yeah.
scary. It's not always as intimidating. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be afraid. Just be a person. Go be a human being and walk around. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know. So I appreciated those times too, where I could like walk around and appreciate other people in another part of the country that were like super genuine. Like, oh, what are you guys doing out here? Like, oh, you guys are part of that drum thing that's going on. It was always the drum thing that's going on. You know.
Yeah.
So that I always really liked talking to like local people that were cool, that were super nice and actually welcoming in the community, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so is this like good and bad versus like talking about like the experience of like just the tour or like what was the question?
It just if you've learned any like real world applications through drum corps, I guess that's a way to put it too.
Yeah.
Or
I guess
observations or anything.
yeah. I mean, I would say like a big one is I think it gave me the I think it gave me a lot more confidence in myself for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot more. It's crazy. Like once I was able to like do this thing, I noticed like if I put the same amount or greater effort into a different area that I did with having to make blues and RCC, like I can virtually do like anything I want. I think that's extremely powerful because at one point, making Blue Dose RC was impossible, and like I can never do that. And like making it now, it's like, well, how many other things do I think are impossible that I think like if I tried it wouldn't be anymore? So I think it broke that wall a little bit and just gave me the it just made me realize like, wow, there's more. I'm selling myself short. I could do way more, and I can do things that I really really want to do. So I think that's a big thing. I think anywhere you march probably will teach you that.
Right.
You can make anything happen.
That's cool. That's a really good way to put that. Julian asks, he's trying to get into audio engineering and music production with especially FL Studio, and he has some stuff on SoundCloud. I know you recently started up a YouTube channel, so what do you recommend I do to build up a fan base / community?
Ooh, yeah. So I think you should definitely promote yourself, for sure. I think you should also you have to be really consistent. I think with this like all this technology and like social media stuff, if you don't make yourself relevant often, like very often, you won't be remembered or like it's gonna be harder for you to like be someone that like people want to like pay attention to, I guess. So I think it's a lot of consistency. Like just put yourself out there constantly and always work on making your craft as strong as it can be. Like if you're really serious about it, um, building a fan base is like awesome. I would say like that's great, build a fan base, but I don't think it should be the main priority yet because I think getting good at what you do should always come first. And also like knowing knowing that what you want to do is what you want to do. So making sure that you're not like questioning, is this what I want to do? Like if you're trying to build a fan base and do that at the same time, I think you're gonna run into like a lot more problems. So make sure that like if you know like yes, this is what I want to do 100%, get really good at that thing. So that way when you do put yourself out there, it's like it sticks more, because it's like you know
Right.
you show that there's work, growth, and it's a quality product. Um,
Right.
So I would say that I mean it's like that. Don't put that aside, but I would say like making it right first is the priority for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I think that's super helpful advice, even for for me, because obviously this stuff is still new to me too. That's a really good point, man. Like, and I think obviously you're doing it well because your YouTube channel's it's doing super well. What do you have? You have like 4,000
Mhm.
subscribers, something like that. Like 80 videos. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely yeah, it's definitely slowed down just because, and that's like the whole thing I just talked about. Like knowing what you want to do. Like obviously dude, I love drumming, right?
Mm-hmm.
I drum just to like drum. I don't know, like
Yeah.
now that like everything's taking a pause, I'll just drum just because like I want to. It's very therapeutic
Yeah.
and meditative. Um, and I think putting it like I think I was taking it too seriously by doing it on the YouTube platform, and I feel like I was just like not having as much fun with it,
Mm.
and I didn't want to like ruin, or not ruin it, but I didn't want to like resent drumming because I didn't want to attach it to something I didn't want to do. Um,
That's a
so
really
that's why,
good way to put that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why I stopped doing the drumming stuff on YouTube, and like now I'm trying to figure out like what do I want to do on this platform,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I do like putting it out there. I love the YouTube platform. I love having videos on there, and now it's like the whole thing that we just talked about. Like, what do I want to like what in this platform do I want to achieve that is seems impossible. So like getting to like 1 million subscribers, that's like a whole thing. That's a goal right now. That, like I
Yeah.
feel like around there, I would put it as like making Bluetooth and RCC,
Right.
and like that's a challenge. And right now it's like I was so invested in like the numbers for a while, but then like when I realized like maybe I don't want to do the drumming stuff, um, I started realizing that like it's not about like the numbers I'm getting, it's about like what I want to do. Because once that's taken care of, it not that it won't matter, like you won't care who's watching, but it's like it feels way better to put out a video or put out something that you're like, ah, man, this is so good,
You're genuine
and
about it.
it
Yeah.
tanks, yeah, and it tanks, then like, oh man, this is like I know this is good, but like this, like I know this is like it was kind of a hassle to like do and like all this stuff and like like and then putting it out there and it does really good. It's like, well, yeah, but there's something about
Yeah.
putting something out that's authentic and genuine to you than putting something out there that other people will enjoy the bit, but maybe you don't enjoy as much,
Right. It just feels more authentic.
Yeah.
That's plus. I mean, I feel like people they can tell when you're naturally
That
more excited about some type of a content,
Yeah, yeah.
or if you're just
That's
kind of like
that's
forcing
so
it.
you're the second person that told me that.
Yeah.
Um, George Collins said the same thing. He said people can tell.
Yeah.
And if people can tell, like then why are you continuing to do it? And I was
Yeah.
like, that's obvious. And it's like
Yeah.
it should be obvious. It's like
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, this is one of my like second kind of I guess little endeavors that I've done. Well, actually, technically third, but I hadn't really associated it the way that you put it until you said it, where it was like
Mm,
I kind of started to fall out of love with drumming for a little bit, but
mm,
running parallel to that at the same time, I was kind of trying to create content. Like I was like racking my brain for ideas. I was trying to figure something else out, you know, but I just couldn't. Nothing that I was doing like grabbed me. Like there was no real hook, with the exception of teaching and writing.
yeah.
But things like this, where I could actually get involved with like the community and other people that I know, it just wasn't working. And I started to resent drumming a little bit because of it. Because I was in my head, I was associating it with like, okay, well, I'm never going to be successful doing this. Then, like, it's just drum corps. That's it. That's all it was. But when I started to get away from that idea, I started to latch onto it more, and I started to like it more.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So actually, I didn't think about it that way until you had just put that. So that's a really good way to put that. That actually made me just think
Yeah.
about that too.
That's
Um,
cool. That's all.
yeah. My next question was going to be, how do you think being a performer has influenced how you create your content?
Yeah.
I guess you kind of already answered it with, I guess, like the comparison to making RCC and Blue Devils.
Yeah, well, I mean that I would say like I told this to Yurik, and I don't know what it is yet. Like this is a cool thing. Like getting into the unknowns is is it's awesome because once you're able to like figure it out, then it's like new and like people will latch onto it because I think people really like latching onto something that they haven't seen before.
Mhm.
But I told them I was like I wanna I wanna like I want my YouTube videos to seem like performances. Like I want like a show, like not like a show, but just like I want to have the performance energy in my YouTube videos.
Mhm.
And I don't know what that is yet, but like if I can put that same energy that I have like when we're like at a show into a YouTube video, that would be like a great outlet, you know? I don't know. There's something there. I just
Yeah.
don't know what it is yet, but there has to be something that connects, you know? Um, so that's exciting. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it is yet, but if I could figure that out, I think things would start clicking. Because then, like, I love performing, you know, like I'm sure you do too. There's something about just like, like I don't know, just
Yeah.
giving everything you got into something, putting your soul and like your heart into it.
Yeah.
That you could put into anything, and like once I can figure out how to do it to YouTube, it's like I think I'll be like way happier, you know,
Yeah.
like way
Yeah.
more content with like what I do.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So do you have like anything planned? Like that you want to
Right.
share?
Okay. So right now, I've been doing like a lot of vlogs, but I think I want to like I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I think I'm not sure what it is yet. Like, cause people have done vlogs before, you know, like that has. I don't want to say taking its um taking its course or anything like that, but I think in order to you know like I think about this like okay Blue Devils, right, every year, and I think I'll relate it to drumming a lot because it's the thing that I know very well. It's like you don't see Blue Devils constantly doing the same thing over and over again, right? They do something different every single year, and then you just know like man there's something like so different about like Blue Devils, right, or whatever. And right now it's like I'm almost like trying to like put myself like into a niche or something. And it's like I know like if Widows had a handle on this, they wouldn't do this. They would try something different. It's like I want to be that
Gotcha.
different. I want to put myself in it in like I want to just separate myself. I think once I separate myself and grow in that area, it will bring me like so much. So I don't know. Right now I've been doing vlogs, but maybe I'll merge that with something else because I think
Right.
out of everything I've been experimenting, vlogging has been like the thing I actually do enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's fun to
tweaking
watch.
that a little
It
bit.
is cool. Like
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
the dog episode. That one was fun. It was a cool
yeah,
one.
yeah. He's chilling right here. He's so
I
cute.
see, really?
He's just like a.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, here, I'll show him
Let me see.
here for a second.
How old's your dog?
He is
That's so cute.
he's 4. He's 4 years old. We adopted him.
Yeah.
So
Nice, dude.
yeah.
No, I've always liked like vlogs and things like that because you, especially if you watch it like over time, you feel like you start to kind of get to know somebody. You know, like you're almost
Right.
I don't know a good way to describe it, but it's almost better than just like a standard YouTube video. You know, where somebody's like doing a tutorial on something. But it's cool because I get to see
Yeah.
that person's life and like see what they're doing. Like you did one where you're hanging out with like Elijah, right? I think you guys went to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
LA
Yeah.
or
That's
something.
cool.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah. That's cool.
I think that's super cool stuff to see. He's coming out with
Yeah.
like really good music too. I've been watching lately.
Elijah's amazing too. There's so much talent
Yeah,
in the marching activity. It's awesome.
yeah.
So cool.
I like seeing it a lot. I had one question on Instagram. Give me one sec. Gotta find it. Ooh, here's a good one. What would you do differently if you had started drumming? Oh, wait. I can't see all of the. I hate how Instagram does this. Like, it clips off part of the question on there.
Great.
I'm going to assume it says if you had to start drumming I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the question says.
I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like it's gonna be a good question.
Damn it! I wish there was a way to. Let me see. See if I can like share it or something.
Yeah.
Another one though.
What's up?
Who are your drumming idols? Like
Drumming.
I guess that's all it says. So I'd say like
People I look up to.
artists. Yeah, like artists or not specifically. I guess like staff members. That's how I'm
Idols.
taking it.
Nick for sure. Super good. You know what's crazy? Like I remember last year it was before the Middle Tennessee lot, and I would journal a lot of stuff in there, especially when I was like maybe having like struggles, and I wrote down like the like names of like so many Blue Devils drummers that have like come before me, and I just like wrote down all their names, and I was like every single one of these people, like you are that person now. It's like it was just it's so crazy. But I would say like someone I really looked up to a lot was Manzo, big time.
Yeah.
Man, Manzo's so good at performing. It's unreal.
Yeah.
So good at
He's
performing.
so over the top sometimes. I love it. He's such a cool guy. I miss that guy.
He's pretty extra about it, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. Alan Ungst, super great guy. I remember, dude, he intimidated me so much in 18 because I
Really?
stood next to him. Dude, man, I know, like we're like great, we're like homies now, right? But I know for a fact, like I know he won't say it. I don't know if I brought it up to him, he probably won't say it, but I know for a fact, like there was many times where he was like probably looked at me like, dude, like I do not like, yeah, not that he doesn't like me, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I was like
Yeah, I
a
get
really
it.
for a long time, but I don't know. I guess I feel like there's so many people that like have inspired me. Like so many
Yeah.
people. Like it's hard to just like name people, you know, because
Right.
it does. I don't think it covers. I feel like when I watch a line, I look at literally everyone, and there's like
Yeah.
not one person that inspired me in some sort of way, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
BC Diddle says, "I miss you, Sean." That's it's
Dude,
Brian.
Brian.
Brian Criswell.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, Brian, have you seen his I&E?
which one? From last year?
His from
Or
yeah,
I guess
technically. Have you seen
this
it?
year? I haven't yet. Wait, I didn't even know they
Dude,
uploaded it.
it is insane.
Where's it at?
Dude, you
Is it on
should
YouTube?
watch. It's on YouTube.
Okay. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Just if you search up like 2020 Brian Criswell, it's freaking crazy.
Okay.
Brian, if you're, I mean, obviously, he's awesome, but like, holy crap, I was like, not like shocked. I know he's like freaking really good,
Yeah.
but I was like, geez, man, it's like so professional. It's crazy. So
He said
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Bunch of O's and a little heart. Jables. I don't know who that is. Jables 189. Sounds like it would be Jabali, but I don't know. He said, if you could eat one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a good one.
Man, it's funny. I just talked about this to my girlfriend Ashley, and I said salad. I said a salad, and I
Whoa.
said that because I know, and I don't really eat salads, but if I had to eat one thing, it would probably be a salad because I don't want it to like, because my other option would be like a cheeseburger or something,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But if I had to eat cheeseburger all the time, I get like really fat.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you're the only person that's ever said a salad. Everybody else is like mac and cheese, pizza.
Really?
Yeah, probably. But you know what? That's
Yeah.
I
I would. I mean, I'd
hadn't even
probably
considered.
hate it though. I would probably get so tired of it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, the good thing about salad is you can always put like different dressings and toppings on it, dude. You can do whatever you want. It's
Spice it
salad.
up a little bit.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
It's JB. Oh, what's up, dude? That's who asked that question. Okay. Last one I got is from Justin Clement. Do you know who that is? Who Much Crown?
Justin Clement.
Yeah, he was a snare drummer at Crown.
Yeah, he marched Crown in Broken City,
Yeah.
right?
Uh,
Yeah.
did he march? Yeah, he did. Yeah. He asked, "What made you begin your YouTube channel in the first place?"
Yeah. So, um, my one of the guys I went to high school with, he played tenors and he was dude that guy was like a hustler. Like he would always like sell candy and like he just like he had like very entrepreneurial like drive, and he started a YouTube channel, and he found like pretty big success on there. And then he like just told me, he's like, dude, if you did drumming stuff on there, um, it would do really good. And I was like, and I didn't want to do it. And like, I kept like going back and forth. Like, do I want to put myself out there on YouTube? Because I feel like a big thing about putting yourself out on a platform is you have to have you have to like be okay with like putting yourself out there. You know, like you
Mm.
have to be okay with like criticism, I
Yeah.
guess, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like that was a big one for me. And I feel like I wasn't ready to put myself out there because I feel like I wasn't good enough. You know, I wasn't like super good. Um, so I waited for a really long time, and then it just like over the whole summer of 19, I was like, okay, I want to get back. I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. Want to get back. I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. And then yeah, when I got back, I put myself out there, and it was definitely like scary for sure. It was something that like I just had to jump into,
Mm.
but I'm really grateful because um, jumping into it has like done nothing but like help me like again grow in another sort of way, and just learn so much about um, other people and myself for sure. And like show me like that this is like another passion I have for sure. Like having like doing like editing stuff or recording stuff
Yeah.
has been another passion I found. So very grateful for that. So yeah, him, my friend from high school.
Mm. That's awesome.
Hmm.
That's super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like I don't like being on camera too much, so I've had to. This makes me way more comfortable. I think it was always because like I didn't want to do, um, like drumming because I also play guitar, so I was trying to do some like guitar covers and things like that, but I always felt like because I did the Blue Devils or something, I have to be a Blue Devil type musician. Like I always have to be
Yeah.
superior. Like I have to make sure that I'm holding myself to that standard, you know? So it made me really uncomfortable being on camera.
Mm.
And even now still I feel a little nervous, you know, because I feel like I'm if I show people or do kind of like what you're doing. Like I love what you're doing because you are showing that you're something more than that. You get to be yourself. You can show your authentic self, you know what I mean? While still being able to, hey, I'm a Blue Devil. I march Blue Devils, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm actively like I'm trying to break that identity where it's like I'm a Blue Devil, but I'm also a person, and this is what I stand
Yeah.
for as a person. This is who I am as a
Yeah.
person, you know. So there's that fear of like, well, if I show too much of like who I am, it's gonna lose one or the other. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
why I
Yeah.
really enjoy like your vlogs and your content like that, and it's inspiring, especially me to do stuff like that too. Like, hey, you know what? Like he's doing it and he's having a lot of success with it. You know, so I kind of want to try being more open too. Like I'm already kind of a like keep my cards to my chest kind of guy. You know, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn how to like unfold them a little bit. You know?
Yeah. It's scary. It's like being very vulnerable.
Yeah,
That's what it's being vulnerable to just like be okay with putting yourself out there.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's. And I was about to say something about to that. Hmm. Oh yeah, like I think it's very surface level. If people just know that you're just a drummer, you know, like
Mm,
I think it's like
right.
everyone already knows that, you know, like what else is there? And I think like starting to peel back the layers
Hmm.
of like who you are is like super important, you know.
Yeah, I hadn't considered actually until you just said that maybe people that are watching you want that. You know? Because
Yeah,
I'd
that's
always
another
thought
thing.
like, well, they're watching me because I'm a drummer, and that's all they
Yeah,
want. That's
yeah,
actually that's a really good way to think about that. I hadn't even considered that.
yeah, yeah. The way I like to see it is like you how do you say it? Like you come first. You know, like who you are comes first. Like it would suck if it was just like um Joy the drummer and then like then the person. You
Hmm.
know, it's like, well, no, like you come first. Like you are the,
That's what it
like,
feels like
yeah, like
sometimes.
it shouldn't feel like that. It
Hmm.
feels wrong. It feels out of order that way.
Right.
You know.
Hmm.
Um,
Do you have? So what have you done? This is my question actually for you. Like, what have you done to kind of like avoid that? Like, what have you done? Have you done any like I don't know, like exercises or it's not really an exercise, but like to be more comfortable being vulnerable.
yeah, yeah. I think maybe just not not attaching yourself to so many things. I think um, like what I mean by that is like don't attach yourself to like um, how do I say it? I've let go more and more of like this has to be great, this has to be amazing, this has to be, like all this stuff because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like once if I'm so attached to it, then it's like I don't know, I don't explain the more and more I get away from judging myself, the more I'm okay with where I'm at because I'm no like right now like with you know like YouTube I'm rookie, you know? I'm like at the lowest of lows like possible, you know? Like so right now I'm in the process of like having to just like learn and learn and learn and like holding myself up to like the same standard I have
Mm.
for Buddha almost doesn't make sense because I'm not that good at this craft yet, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So just like not myself to like this has to be great right now because you're such a great drummer. It's like no, like that's those two things don't aren't aligned yet,
Right.
you know? So that's a huge one for sure.
Hmm. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I don't see any of the questions. That was about an hour and a half, I think. So,
Yeah. That was
I don't know,
awesome.
man. You got anything else? Like, do you have any other things you
Yes,
want to
I
share?
do have one thing. Everyone that's watching, and if you haven't, you got to follow this man Joey on every platform you got. Like seriously, like I think it's awesome what you're doing. I think having interviews and stuff like that is really cool, and just I think what you're doing is awesome.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And I just keep seeing you do what you do.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it. And same
Very
to you. Like,
professional.
I like what you're doing too. Like, this is, like I said, that's honestly why I wanted to get you on here because what you're doing is inspiring me to do that too. And I want to make sure that people like you and the other people that I have that'll come on eventually, like, get their voices out there to see. Going back to that, it's like I know again. I noticed that in myself. Like, I want people to see more than what they see on the Blu-rays or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? So I hope so. Like, I want people to see more of you. I want people to see more of like what your ideas are and like what makes you tick and what ideas sparked other ideas or how you got to where you are. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks. I really do. Um, so I mean we'll keep in contact. I'll have you on again sometime.
Yes.
And I'll post for anybody that's watching. I have all of his links and things like that, and I'll put them in like bios and all that stuff. And I'll do whatever I can to support your channel too. Make sure you guys go and watch his channel too. All of his feedback that he just gave is super authentic. It's great. I think it's a really really good indicator of the content that you're gonna get on his channel. And yeah, cool, man. Again, I really appreciate it. Thanks so
Awesome.
much. I'll be in contact, and
So,
we'll try to do this again sometime.
yes.
Cool.
All right, see you, dude.
See you, buddy. Have fun with your move.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, dude, that was awesome. Yeah, man, Sean, dude, he's just such a genuine guy. I'm so stoked to have these people on that are like super genuine people that buy into these ideas. Yeah, that was great. Thank you guys again for being here, and thank you guys for asking the questions that you guys got. Very gamer moment, I know, right? If you guys have more questions for him, if you guys have more that, oh, excuse me, that you would like to know about him, or if you have any other types of, like maybe personal questions you want to ask him. I'm sure if you go to his channel, I'm sure if you hit him up on Facebook, I mean, you just saw the guy. He's super authentic. He's super genuine. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll get back to you. Tell him to check out your SoundCloud. Get out of here. I'm gonna put you in a timeout, Julian. I'm just kidding. I won't. But yeah, I hope you guys are able to get something from this, because I honestly did too. A lot of those questions, like, they helped me too. Because I am trying to be more like him. I'm trying to be more vulnerable. I really respect that, and like he mentioned, it's at one point things seemed impossible to march Blue Devils and RCC and things like that, and for me, one of those things is kind of being, I don't want to say authentic, but vulnerable, like he's doing, like what he's doing. He's taking a chance doing it, and it's paying off for him. He's doing really great stuff, so that's one thing I'm striving to be like more. So he's definitely one of my influences, and I'm gonna keep watching the stuff that he's doing. I'm gonna keep supporting the stuff that he's doing, and I really urge you guys to do the same. If you like his content, like, he deserves that support. He deserves to have that push to get his content into more people's ears, because what he's saying is great, and we can do our part to help get him to where we want him to be, which is ideally in a very successful position. So yeah, if you guys have like any other questions or anything for me, go ahead and hit me up. My next guest coming up next week. Do you guys want to know? You guys want to know who the next guest is? I'll wait. I'll give you 1 minute to reply if you guys want to know who the next guest is. Julian says yes. If I get one no, I'm not going to do it. That's a yes. It's 2 yeses. All right, that's fine. I'll just tell you. Next week, I'm going to have Henry Gillard on. Mr. Gillard is coming on. He's going to talk to us a little bit about his book that he has that just came out. It's an awesome book of, I think it's mostly just like licks and things that he's been writing. His content on YouTube and Instagram and all that is super cool. Another, like Sean said, super talented drum corps guy. Yeah, I'm really honored to not just know these people, but to have these people come on, so I'm super excited to talk to him about that, because I at one point was talking about, like, I wanted to write my own like lick book thing, so I'm excited to talk to him and see how his process was for all this. So I'll be advertising that later this week, probably on Monday, probably tomorrow. Yeah, another 12 dude. And he's dude, again, another super great guy. Super, super cool. But in the meantime, please, if you guys can all do me a favor, besides liking and sharing my stuff, please go and share and like Sean's stuff. If everybody in here right now could like take a video from his profile and just share it on your profile, it takes like 1 minute, like just something, and it'll get a couple views for him. He really, really, really deserves it. And I would really appreciate that, like giving him the love that I know you guys can all give. You're all able to do it, so please do it. In the meantime, I might be on later today playing some games or something. Who knows? I'll be drumming more this week. I found a way to get my stream to accept the input of my drum set over here. There we go. That guy. So I do want to, great. I do want to do some drum set, either covers or like tutorials or little lick sessions or something like that. I do have a couple people I'm going to be writing some things with soon. So that's all good stuff to look forward to in here. And yeah, again, thank you guys. I really do appreciate any and all support you guys have been giving. This is a cool journey that I'm on. I really appreciate it so far. I really like what this is doing for me, just personally, especially during coronavirus and all that stuff. It's fun to do, and I genuinely like talking to everybody and reconnecting with some of my old friends like Henry, And some people I don't know as well as I would like to, like Sean. Like I know him, but I'm more appreciative now because I feel like I really got to know him in that talk. So yeah, that's all stuff that I really enjoy doing. And again, I can't say it enough. I appreciate you guys being here. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.